Video games have a wide variety of worlds to explore, from outer space, high fantasy, to war-torn countries. However, there's one type of world we see a lot of, the post-apocalyptic world. Hey Shackers, Greg here, and today I'll be counting down the top 10 best post-apocalyptic video games. Now these are worlds within games that suffered an almost extinction level event, from either massive magic spell backlash, nuclear war, a science-engineered virus, or just good old-fashioned nature, taking revenge on the planet for global warming. Now the rules are, the world had to have suffered an event on a global scale. So games like Dying Light or Dead Island, which took place in an enclosed cut-off location, won't count. This list will also be only one game per franchise, so you'd best bet which follow game will be on this list now. Votes have been tallied from our community, staff, and Twitter. That said, let's prepare for the end of the world to see what emerges from the ashes. These are the top 10 best post-apocalyptic video games. You know the whole Battle Royale craze right now, with Fortnite, PUBG, and Apex Legends? Well, it started here, kind of, but not in the way you'd think. DayZ was originally a mod based off Arma 2. The game took place in an isolated, empty world in a rural landscape, and it was clear the world was destroyed by some type of virus or zombie outbreak. However, the true meat of the game was encountering other players. You never knew who would be friend or foe, ally or enemy. It was this uncertainty that made DayZ so popular amongst gamers. Hearing a gunshot, talking, or footsteps gave a sense of tension to your gameplay. It wasn't just the zombies wandering around, but the human element of the game that really shined. The same themes and ideas are in most zombie shows and films. The Walking Dead, for example, you encounter more dangerous living enemies than dead ones. And if you're not careful about who you meet in the open world and who you trust, you risk death and the loss of your hard-earned gear.
Last time I saw my grandmother, she asked me was I still a praying man. I told her, yes ma'am. Well, she says, pray harder, 'cause it ain't working.
Valve's first-person shooter Left 4 Dead was one of the first games to pose the question, would you and your friends survive the zombie apocalypse? Left 4 Dead 2 changed things up a bit, with multiple paths, new infected, and melee weapons. The showcase of the game, though, was the AI, also known as the director. The director would mix things up each time you played, moving items, weapons, and zombies around to ensure you got a new terrifying experience. With enemies like hordes of zombies to special player-controlled infected, teamwork was imperative to your survival and success. The game also featured a terrifying soundtrack, one that made sure to keep you on your feet. With its simple pick-up-and-play gameplay and the theme of a zombie apocalypse, it's easy to see why Left 4 Dead 2 was a fan favorite amongst our community. If you're looking for a world ravaged by a war of demons and angels, look no further than the world of Sanctuary. Sure, the world's dark, barren, and has horrific creatures running around that would soon tear your face off for simply walking in their line of sight. But for the kind people that live about this world, it's home. The unholy war certainly took its toll in the world of Sanctuary, leaving settlements scattered throughout the wind and magical items laying about all over the place. You'd think the angels and demons would be a little more careful with their holy and demonic relics. It's not a bright future, but it sure serves any adventurer's need for questing, slaying, and treasure. Not all post-apocalyptic worlds have to be dark or barren. Take the beautiful world of Wind Waker, for example, forever flooded to prevent Ganon from taking power, and in the process killing a lot of Hyruleans. Hyruleans? Not sure what the plural for that is. Or are they just frozen in time? Magic's kinda weird. In Wind Waker, people live on small islands, old ships, and outposts sprinkled throughout the Great Sea. From pirates to enemy forts, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker certainly feels a lot like Waterworld. We're just lucky it's a much better video game.
38, 39, 40 quarters. This better be good.
Game over. Please deposit 40 quarters.
What a rip!
Released in 1988 on PC, the game may look very old, and well, that's because it is. However, it was the definitive Fallout experience before it was called Fallout. The game was made by Interplay and designed by a lot of the same game developers that would eventually work on Fallout 1. The game was impressive and way ahead of its time, featuring a contextual world that changed permanently based on your decisions. At Wasteland's core was an RPG, a real RPG that featured stats, skills, dialogue trees, even a higher recruitment mechanic. You can clearly see the series of Fallout evolved from this title, and it's super interesting to see where the tremendously successful Fallout franchise started.
The world of Days Gone is breathtaking. You'll be tempted to stop and look out at the lush valleys, the many rivers and waterfalls, but don't. You're not a tourist here. You're fighting to survive.
There are a lot of zombie open world games, and each is unique in their own way. However, Days Gone stands apart from the most, with their interesting story, unique infected, and massive open world. Days Gone plays out like most post-apocalyptic video games, at first. An infection, or virus, causing mankind to mutate into freakers. But it's not just humans. The virus also affects animals, giving this game a huge one-up above the classic take on zombie outbreaks. There's even infected children enemies. The lush forest of Oregon, with its windy roads, makes for a great landscape to explore and survive. Make no mistake, Days Gone isn't just another copy-paste zombie open world game. Great care and design went into it, and it shows. If you haven't climbed on your bike to explore this freaker-infested wilderness, you really ought to. Most post-apocalyptic game worlds are dark, dusty, depressing, and have pretty limited or beat-up technology from the old world. Horizon Zero Dawn breaks this trope, with its beautiful lush green forest and fields with giant machine-like animals. Its unique blend of primitive living and combat with a dash of science fiction technology. It really is a unique game, with its own take on the post-apocalypse genre. Remnants of the old society are scattered here and there, as you start uncovering what exactly happened to this world. We won't spoil anything here, but with a huge map to explore, different biomes to travel through, and a mystery to solve, it's a must-have if you own a PS4.
It is known that the world fell, and that most people in it died. The dead will not suffer the hardships of the terrible world which remains. Those born into this hell have no remembrance of anything else. Those who survived, those are the truly broken, for they know what was before.
Avalanche Studios delivered a true-form Mad Max open-world sandbox experience that in my opinion was, and still is, extremely underrated. Based off the Mad Max films, more so the 2015 Mad Max Fury Road, driving your car across the barren, dusty, rusty landscape in search of materials and supplies to customize your car was a blast. Literally. Ground combat was equally enjoyable, featuring combos, counters, and takedowns. Building and customizing your car, the magnum opus, was a great driving force, pun intended, and had a huge amount of customization, making the car feel like a character within itself. The game really dove you into the violent and brutal world of Mad Max, just with less leather and purple highlights. For a world so barren with sand and dust, it also does a decent job of creating interesting locations and biomes for you to explore and scavenge. If you glanced over Mad Max, you should definitely give it a shot. And if you're a fan of the films, there's really no excuse not to jump in.
2-man header! 1-man lead! Say it! 2-man header! 1-man lead!
What if it's true?
Do I need to remind you what is out there?
Once upon a time, I had somebody that I cared about. And in this world, that sort of shit's good for one thing: getting you killed.
Welcome to a world where a spore-like fungus has just about wiped out humanity. People who come in contact with these spores become the infected, roaming around and attacking just about anything that breathes. Of course, in a world ravaged by killing fungus spores, people took shelter in small militarized settlements that are run by what's essentially left of the government. You end up setting out on an epic journey, which has plenty of plot twists and turns, none of which we'll spoil here. The game has great themes of survival, and you really see how bad the human race can get when it comes to kill or be killed. It's a dark, grim world, but it's worth checking out to see a different spin on the classic zombie apocalypse. There have been over 9 Fallout games. That includes spin-offs. So narrowing this down to just one was a monumental task. Sure, Fallout 1, 2, and 3 are fantastic games in their own right. However, Fallout New Vegas seems to be the one people remember the most. Although the barren Nevada desert pretty much remained the same after the bombs fell, there's still plenty of hotels to explore, power plants to repair, tourist traps, and landmarks to visit that were of course filled with looters, mutants, and giant insects. New Vegas also featured, well, New Vegas, complete with gambling minigames and an eccentric millionaire guiding you on your way. New Vegas took ideas and concepts from Fallout 3 and improved upon them in almost every way, especially the stories and side quests. There will always be a debate about which Fallout is the best Fallout, but there's no denying that Fallout New Vegas is one of the best in the series. Which post-apocalyptic games did you guys think were the best? Which ones did I miss? Let us know in the comments below. For more videos like this and everything else gaming related, you're already in the right place. You're on Shacknews.com.
This is why I never run, 'cause I got spurs that jingle.
Hey guys, Greg here. Hope you enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun making this one. It was really tough to narrow this down to a single Fallout game. Luckily, I had help from our community, Twitter, and our staff to narrow it down to Fallout New Vegas. As you see, I'm wearing my Obsidian shirt today. Anyway guys, I'm here to talk about our subscription service, Mercury. Mercury is our premium subscription service. It's a way for you to support our site directly without having to go through Patreon or GoFundMe or some other weird third-party site that wants money. If you like the work we do, if you like the articles we write, the reviews we do, that kind of stuff, we have a whole staff of writers and editors consistently pumping out content. You may have seen Asif Khan, our EIC, in some videos. Blake Morris also does some video work as well, so you've seen them around. But a lot of our writers are typing and expressing their voice to give you the best content possible. And Mercury is a way to support us in that. There's different tiers of Mercury, each come with a different set of rewards. And hey, if you can't give us money, liking our videos, subscribing to our YouTube channel, or simply visiting our site, shacknews.com daily, helps us out tremendously. Come here. And if you want to subscribe, do it for Nessie. Right now, Lola's on the site, but Nessie needs some love too. Don't you, Nessie? She does. She needs some love. She just wants to get down. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. For more videos like this and more cat cameos, you're already in the right place. You're on Shacknews.com. Are you done? She's done.